Hey there, guys. This is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tosuke, and I have something I need to tell you. I have sinned. I watched Dragon Ball Evolution about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. And since I've been doing the Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2 Let's Play for a while, I figured I should talk about this movie in Dragon Ball Online, kind of give my thoughts on this thing. But I watched some scenes originally. I thought it was just going to be a laughing stock. It turns out it wasn't very funny at all. Honestly, the plot itself just seems very stereotypical. Like, that's probably my biggest complaint with it. Like, the movie, in my opinion, isn't completely terrible, but it's not really that good either. Like, they completely ruin Goku's character. He's supposed to be a happy-go-lucky, confident hick. He's not a self-conscious, shy teenager with problems. He's not that he's actually a better person than that. Or, well, I don't want to say that, but he's definitely not how he's supposed to be in the movie. And people call him Geeko, and it's like, stupid. I feel like Chi-Chi's done okay from the whole, oh, she actually kind of likes him. It's that stereotypical sort of story. You got the nerd guy, but then you've got like the girl who kind of likes him and is really nice to him. That's something. And Bulma, I kind of like the little blue streak she had. I mean, I just kind of like that stylistic kind of thing. I thought that was okay. But then what else? I'm kind of drawing a blank. It's not that good. I mean, they start off, with Grandpa Gohan being alive. That's fine. Of course, he does die. So they don't completely just shit on all things. I mean, they do get some stuff right. They've got the power pole. They use the Japanese pronunciations of the Chinese names for the Dragon Balls. I think they even call it the Nyoibo, the power pole. I mean, and Master Roshi, is proving, for the, Goku's really just the biggest character screw up, in my opinion, out of the entire movie. I feel like everyone else has done okay. Again, not saying it's a good movie. All I'm saying is that it was just dumb, really, Like, it wasn't really good, but it's not bad. Or, well, this movie's stupid. That's really it. That's just the core at what's going on. It's just stupid. And they bring in a little bit of Dragon Ball Z by it's like, he is Ozaru, and it's like, no, he's a Saiyan, but or Saiyan. He's a Saiyan, but that the Kamehameha, I give them a slap on the wrist on, because even in Dragon Ball there was kind of like a technique to it. It was Dragon Ball Z where Goku kind of shifted it into the way he usually does it, and then that's where kind of everyone else sort of picks up, like his family members kind of learn how to do it in their own way. But what else? Um, Overall, it's just a dumb movie. I mean, my shape shifting. That they did that was interesting. I guess it's nice, kind of adding in, give Piccolo a henchman, even though he's got like a bunch of monsters at his disposal that he can just make. The name after friggin' flutes. He doesn't need to friggin' make. He doesn't even need to make. Or he doesn't need to even hire Mai. like the plot itself is just so generic. Like it almost seems like they just kind of made a stereotypical martial arts movie and then decided to slap Dragon Ball in it at the last minute. Which probably was part of the reason why it was bad, because they probably rushed it. Because they were probably working on the movie, whatever, and it's like, oh wait, this is not going to sell well. What can we do to punch up? Oh, let's do Dragon Ball. Okay, let's redo any scenes and whatnot. I feel like that's kind of what happened. Even the term and I think they, and of course I'm giving the filmmakers or the people who made the film a lot of credit when I say this, but I don't know. Filmmakers, from what I can tell, seem to have a problem of trying to change things, trying to put more of their vision in it instead of keeping to the source material. And there are plenty of other movies out there that do the source material justice, but this is not one of them. I almost feel like this is the 1998 Godzilla syndrome, where Americanized version done kind of poorly. I mean, we've got another movie to kind of coming out with a new Godzilla movie for 2014 that seems to be trying to make up for it, and of course, with our own stuff like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, we do fine. But when it comes to other people's materials, we just don't give a fuck. But I don't want you guys to get the impression that I like this movie. That is not it at all. I am not going to buy it or anything like that. It was just dumb. It was just, if anything, people were bringing it up, it's like, oh, it's just the worst movie ever. You shouldn't see it. It's like evil. And while it's not that good, I mean, it's not the worst movie ever. And of course, I have, I can handle stuff, Hey, I watched Boku no Pico, and I was shown Aiken recently too, or Aiken, or however you pronounce it. They seem to kind of switch the pronunciation in the show, and by I mean switch up, and I mean like two people. But this movie overall, would not recommend it. It's stupid. They weren't faithful to the source material, at least as much as I'd like them to be. They did get some stuff right, but it was like stuff that didn't really matter, like the Japanese names of the actual names of the Dragon Balls. There's no, you don't really need that. Like I learned about that when I read the manga for the first time, so I didn't even know that was even a thing until much later. I knew the Shadow Dragons had like alternate names, and we switched it to make more sense for the dub since we took out their actual names. But that they at least did that, and that's okay. Heck, and I think Yamcha was done fine. I mean, see, the issue is like they took just a standard plot for a martial arts movie, and threw Dragon Ball on it. That, I feel like, was a bit of an issue. Like, it's just, when you watch it, it's like, it's so clear, like, wait, why is this, it's just so clearly not, it's just clearly, like, tacked on, It almost feels like the story's just kind of tacked on, or it feels like Dragon Ball's tacked on. Now, you could argue, well, maybe they got, like, into a writing stump, and they decided to make it Dragon Ball to fill up, like, a full movie length of however long a movie is, like, 80 minutes? 80, 90 minutes to an hour, maybe even 2 hours. That, I feel like, is the real sort of crime here. I feel like if they had actually and that's the real issue here. Like, it doesn't feel like there's really any effort in this. And like I said, I chalk it up to time constraints likely, and the fact that the director or whatever didn't seem to want to be faithful to the original. Like, I don't know what was going on in their heads, but this clearly is not the work of someone who likes Dragon Ball. This is the work of someone who wants to make a lot of money and wants to put their own vision into something that's not even their vision to begin with. And that, I think, is the biggest flaw of Dragon Ball Evolution. It's trying to be something it shouldn't be. You know? It's not good. It's not the worst movie ever. It's stupid. They weren't faithful to the source material. They changed too much stuff, and the stuff they kept the same is greatly underleveled or outnumbered. But yeah, don't see this movie. Wait for Battle of Gods to come out. The DVD's out. If you want to import it, do that. Or watch anything else Dragon Ball Z related. I mean, this isn't like Goku versus Superman where I just kind of went into like a little mini depression. But this was definitely not good. And no. This is Flamesar, aka YouTube Sasuke, signing out. Don't see this movie. It's stupid, and the filmmakers don't care. Good night.